Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2016. All right, getting right into it here. It seems that we need to ask a question. Does the Fed have everybody shook? I think that's a good question because the markets don't know what to do at this point. Everyone is afraid to go outside to the playground because the bully, i.e., the Fed, is outside waiting on the jungle gyms, threatening to punch any little kid in the face who doesn't come up off that lunch money. What's up, man? Come on. People, you know the Fed can't raise rates. I don't care how much jawboning they do, they can't raise rates. The day that they raise the rates is the day the Dow loses 1,000 points, and it won't be a flash crash. It will just be 1,000 points shaved off as punishment for the Fed raising the rates. And that's just how it is. Even if the Dow were to fall 1,000 points, that's still not a crash. It's only 17,000. The Dow is at 17,000 for like forever. I came in here, doing videos still. I guess the Dow was around what 10, 12,000 back in '08. I can't remember right now. I'm tired. It's late in the day. So what? You get the point. So right now the Dow can fall 5,000 points, all right, and still be incredibly high. That's how much liquidity has been pumped into the system. An insane amount of money. I'm here to tell you that all the money still has not trickled into the system. It takes the Fed a long time for that money to trickle into the system. Whenever they lower interest rates, it's a big, shot in the arm of adrenaline to the market, but it takes a while for it to trickle down into the whole economy of markets. It takes a while. I'm serious. So that's why you've been seeing the market still, melt up. A few years back, I don't know if it was 2013 or 2014. I did it live on the Wide Awake News show with Charlie McGrath, the late great Charlie McGrath, and I warned everyone. This is back when the Dow was crashing, and everyone was calling, saying the sky was falling, and woe in the end of the world. And I came on his show and said, "Stop the presses. You're about to see the grandfather of all bull markets. You have not seen the highs. You're going to see bull market to make the 1990s bull market look tame." I said that. Well, where are you today? The Dow is hitting all-time highs. It was just posted today. CNBC said that the NASDAQ composite hit a new all-time high. There's so many games that are being played with the people right now. It's not even funny. First of all, the NASDAQ did not hit an all-time high. It did not. That's the NASDAQ composite that they're putting in front of your face. But it's not the NASDAQ 100. We can start jumping up and down and throwing a party when the Nasdaq 100 hits a new all-time high. All right, it needs to break 5,000. The Nasdaq Composite, okay, fine, hit 5,200, no problem. All right, the Nasdaq Composite is like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, so what? It's that 100 that needs to do something. The QQQ. All right, that's the real tech sector right there. Let that hit 5,000, then we can say something. But until then, the Nasdaq 100 has not gotten back up again. It is the only one that has not gotten back up again. S&P new highs, Dow new highs, even the Russell new highs, but not that Nasdaq 100. No way. The Nasdaq, Apple, DAC, whatever you want to call it, it is not doing it. It's at 4,800 now, but that's still 200 points away. All right, it just needs 200 more points. So What am I saying to you on this day, August the 23rd of 2016? This crash that everyone has been crying about, talking about, chiming in about, writing articles about, all right, climaxing over mentally, emotionally, financially. Fine, you want your collapse? You got your collapse, all right? Fine, you got it. You can have it. But guess when it's coming? Your collapse will happen after the NASDAQ 100 hits new all-time highs. Once the NASDAQ 100 breaks 5,000, you can have your little collapse. But even then, it's not going to be a collapse because you just heard me tell you a few minutes ago the Dow can fall 5,000 points and still be incredibly bullish. That would only put it down to 12, 13,000. Come on, man. How is that a crash? Yeah, it's 5,000 points, but it's nothing. It's nothing. We can say the word crash. See, we have to define terms. When you say crash, we are talking about Dow 800. That's a crash. If the Dow drops below 1,000, then that's a crash. We need to get back to the 1980s and 1970s Dow. Then you can say that's a crash. Then I'll agree with you. I'll say, yeah, that was some crash. Dow 800. All right. If that's not what's going to happen, then there's no crash. Every drop in the market will be viewed as a pullback or a correction and an opportunity to get long. I'll tell you what will happen if the Dow were to crash 5,000 points tomorrow. It would make the billionaires of this earth even richer. They will become trillionaires. They wouldn't be billionaires anymore. They'd be trillionaires, because then they would take all the financial resources they have left and buy that Dow at 800, because they know the next day it's going to go from 800 back to 18,000. So they'd be like, "Ooh, we bought the all-time lows, and look, here we are at all-time highs. You suckers, you sold in panic, and we bought everything. You idiots." That's why I'm telling you there is no collapse. All right, I'm off my soapbox into the video. 7 minutes into it. I am so sorry. I monologued for 7 minutes. Looking at your Bitcoin, inside day. Nothing to talk about, nothing to see here. The Fed has everyone afraid to go to the playground. And what can I say? When the big, strong, muscle-bound kid is kicking sand in your face, it makes it difficult to play duck, duck, goose around the jungle gyms, doesn't it? Well, that's what's happening right here. Stalled out. You're pulse waving, though. You're in a positive pulse wave situation here. You're nice. You're well supported down here, but the market isn't really doing much. It still needs to prove itself here and gain some kind of footing to best this 600. Need a close above 600 to say that the downtrend is over in the Bitcoin. All right, so just wanted to put that out there. All right, let's move on. All right, switching our focus now to the US dollar. All right, as you can see here, the US dollar is negative pulse waving now. It is dropped below the supports, and as you can see, it's trading. It's like an inside day or inside a week so far. No real acceleration or continuation pattern. Just taking a breather here, deciding what it wants to do, waiting to hear from the Fed. Overhead resistance is at 97.54, and right now we don't have any support. Looking for support right now. Oversold, but locking in, so not looking good. The Fed is going to need to intervene again soon to prevent this thing from dropping all the way below 90. All right, looking here at your crude oil. Crude oil is in a positive pulse wave situation now, trying its best to excuse me, break above 50, and it probably will do so despite the pullback. So those of you that subscribe to the weekly pulse wave price triggers, definitely check your sheet for the price inflection point on this crude oil, because right now it's looking like it's going to take out the 51 82 price inflection point, and that should put us around 52, 53 and change, possibly before the week is even out. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. That is a possibility moving forward in the crude oil. All right, looking at the gold futures now, flat, nothing really happening. There's really no selling. There's really no buying. It's just holding on right now. People have bought and they're holding. There's really been no real true accumulation on the paper side of things. We're not talking about physicals. We're talking about paper, people. So don't panic. We're talking about paper. Right now, paper market is quiet. All right, nothing happening here. All right, there's no panic button to press. I know about the crash alerts that have occurred, but we don't see anything manifesting at this time. There's no crash alert in the gold futures, and there's no crash alert in the silver futures. So the metals do not have the crash alerts. So don't look to the metals to drive your miners' prices at this time. All right, looking here at the silver futures. Silver futures is a little bit different here. Silver now has really pulled back. Not even a 61.2% retracement, 61.8. You're looking more of a 50% retracement, because here's your move here from that initial thrust back into here, and then you pull back to here. I mean, all you've done is move 50% of the move. Boom here, boom here, boom, here you are here. That's it. All right, nothing to panic about, but be very careful of 1948. 1948 in the silver futures. Be very careful. If that is taken out, 21 is where we're headed. All right. So eyes and ears open on that one. Market's well supported at 1802. All right, looking at your GLD. GLD, same thing as the gold futures. Well supported at 123.60 and just holding. It's still green on the screen. All right, looking at your SLV, you can see it's just like the futures, except for you have a gap to deal with here. So the fact that you have a gap to deal with and the fact that this is oversold, yeah, this gap should probably be filled, if not by Friday, sometime shortly thereafter. And look out for 1851. If 1851 is taken out, it's going to easily push past 19 and get up to 20, 21 and with no problem. And that's where you're headed. All right, looking at your GDX. Okay, gold miners here. Okay, here's our situation. What are we looking at right now? All right, this market has strong support at 28.56. So far, we hit 28.98. All right, so you're still supported right now. All right, you're still supported. So nothing to panic about on this one. All it did was hit the oversoldness, but it didn't extend into it. And so right now, this one is still safe. You're not in a negative pulse wave situation yet. But if you want to be a coward and you're afraid and you want to lock in some profit, then by all means, you're going to need to pretty much put your stop in at 28.98, because chances are it's probably going to best it and then reverse and go back up again. And I would be careful of 29.87. If 29.87 is taken out, this is going to 32 real fast. So trade it the way you want to trade it. But those in the trading room, the Black Ops trading room, you know how we get down, and you know exactly where the pulse waves are, and you know exactly how we're going to treat this one and what we're going to do. And if you have any questions, get at me in the room, and we'll go through the scenarios and how we going to do this one. But also make a note too, those of you who I like to call you my conservatives, those of you who use the conservative aspects of the pulse waves, from the conservative aspect, you're already short, and you've already picked up a few pennies in this one, and you close the day in the money. Hint, hint, wink, wink. You know who I'm talking about. You know the sheet. You have the pulse wave price triggers. You probably want to go ahead and at least move your stop to lock in a few pennies or what have you, or break even, so that you don't get caught in the whipsaw back to the two bar to the 2 bar Charlie. Look at that BS wave 2 bar Charlie. Um, those I'm talking about, the BS 2BC. Look at that, and you'll see where that swing back is going to be on that GDX. So you know what you need to do. All right, same thing for the GDXJ. Don't panic. Well supported at 45.86. Today you hit the 47.05. Getting close to it, but you still got time away from it. You get a low support of 47.79. So you still are doing okay. Nothing to panic about. All right, 47.05 should hold on this one. But if you're gonna panic, go ahead and panic. Do your thing. I can't stop you. But again, those of you who do what we do, you conservatives, you already short the GXJ on the real. But like I'm going to tell everybody else, I'll tell you, watch that whipsaw back to the BS 2BC, because you know how these markets do, and you got to keep a close lid on this one. All right, these miners, you know how they get down. So moving on. All right, looking at your SIL, looking at your silver juniors here. Well supported at 47.92. I showed you that. I just want to show you this again. This gap needs to be filled, and 50.38 is where you're going to need to watch on this one. Junior silver miner, same thing. This one's well supported at 17.13, and 1803 is their price momentum point you need to watch on this one. All right, so that's all we got time for today. So remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember, take what you can and give nothing back. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2016. All right, getting right into it here. It seems that we need to ask a question. Does the Fed have everybody shook? I think that's a good question, because the markets don't know what to do at this point. Everyone is afraid to go outside to the playground because the bully, i.e. the Fed, is outside waiting on the jungle gyms, threatening to punch any little kid in the face who doesn't come up off that lunch money. What's up, man? Come on, people. Even if the Dow were to fall 1,000 points, that's still not a crash. It's only 17,000. The Dow was at 17,000 for like forever. I came in here, doing videos still. I guess the Dow was around what, 10, 12,000 back in '08. I can't remember right now. You know the Fed can't raise rates. I don't care how much jawboning they do. They can't raise rates. The day that they raise the rates is the day the Dow loses 1,000 points, and it won't be a flash crash. It will just be 1,000 points shaved off as punishment for the Fed raising the rates. And that's just how it is. Now, I'm tired. It's late in the day. So what? You get the point. So right now, the Dow can fall 5,000 points, all right, and still be incredibly high. That's how much liquidity has been pumped into the system. An insane amount of money. I'm here to tell you that all the money still has not trickled into the system. It takes the